Hi, it's Joel Mark Witt for Personality Hacker. I'm in my parents' garage right now in Western Pennsylvania, and there's a reason for this. We just got back a few days ago from being in Florida at my grandmother's funeral. My grandmother was 94, almost 95. She passed away, and we went to Jacksonville, Florida to attend her funeral. And then I came back to my family's house here in Western Pennsylvania. We've been spending a few days with the kids here this summer, hanging out with my family. And I got a call, or we got a message from my aunt who said that my grandmother had, I don't know, probably 30 to 40 photo albums. She said, "Do you want us to dispose of these, or do you want these photo albums?" Immediately I said to my aunt, I said, "Well, I'll take them." My aunt lives in Texas, so I paid several $100s to have my aunt's photo album shipped to me here at my mom's house, my mom and dad's house. And I'm currently going through these photo albums. I want to talk to you a little bit about the cognitive function in the Myers-Briggs system of introverted sensing or memory. And as an ENFP in the Myers-Briggs system, this is my inferior or 3-year-old mental process. This is what I use as my inferior. It's a learning process. My driver or my primary process is extroverted intuition, so exploration is what we've nicknamed it here at Personality Hacker. But memory, our nickname of memory or introverted sensing, is what I use as an inferior process, as an ENFP. And I remember when my aunt messaged us that she had these photo albums, I almost had this sense of responsibility to preserve family history. And I'm really glad I paid the several $100s to have the photo album shipped, because as I'm looking through, I'll just show you this real quick. You can see here, this photo album right here is Memory Lane 1800 to 1919 and relatives. And she's got a little label on there, F1. So she's got these cataloged. If you look at some of these other photo albums that I've already gone through, right here, Jacksonville 1992 to 1993, F13. So she has, and you can look at the stacks of boxes here. There's boxes and boxes and boxes of these photo albums. What I've been doing is going through them, and I've been pulling out photos that I think that our family might want to keep based on this. But if you look through, like this one here from 1890 or 1800, you've got photos and history, family history. I don't know who these people are. I have no idea what this photo album is. I mean, there's my grandmother, if you can tell, has labeled. She's gone through. She probably must have spent hours, months, years. I don't know how long she spent doing this. Organizing, categorizing, labeling all the different family history here in this one photo album, right? This took a lot of work, research and work to label and to organize all this. My grandmother in the Myers-Briggs system was most likely an ESTJ. So she would have had memory or introverted sensing as her auxiliary or co-pilot cognitive function. So you can see that doing this project, categorizing and cataloging and organizing all the family history. First of all, I know older people like to do that, right? It's something that older people typically enjoy doing. But also, this would have been a growth state for her to go through and reflect on memories, to understand who she is and how her family is and how she came to be based on all of the impressions of the past, all the memories of the past. So I thought that was really interesting, number one, that this is an example probably of a co-pilot or auxiliary memory function or introverted sensing showing up in a fairly healthy way. The other thing I thought was really interesting about this entire experience was just how burdened or responsible I feel to all this family history. Remember, memory or introverted sensing, looking through the impressions of the past to know who I am now, is my inferior process as an ENFP. It's the thing that I'm not good at. It's not my talent. It's not my strength. It's not my flow state. And yet, this is where it kind of shows up for me. And you might resonate with this if you're an ENTP or an ENFP, that this little baby part of you, this little introverted sensing part of you shows up and you almost feel a responsibility to preserve family history. I felt like I couldn't let these albums be destroyed or thrown away or just marginalized and put in an attic somewhere. I had to capture the memories. I had to capture all of the family's experiences. It's my responsibility. So I'm going through these albums, I'm pulling them apart, I'm finding the photos that I think are going to be important, at least to me personally, and to my immediate family. And I'm working with my mom when she gets some time. I'm putting the albums aside, and she's going through them as well to find any photos that she wants out of them. She's an INFJ in the Myers-Briggs system. She doesn't have memory at all in her cognitive function stack. But I just thought that was really, really fascinating, my own personal experience of how responsible I felt to this when it's not my strength. So I'd love to hear your experience with memory, this introverted sensing process. If you have it anywhere in your cognitive function stack, whether it's a driver, a co-pilot, 10-year-old, or 3-year-old, how does it show up for you? Have you ever had an experience where this is a 10-year-old or 3-year-old for you and you felt responsible to preserve things, to catalog family history, to ensure that things don't get thrown away? I don't know. Like, this is something that I've struggled with. And Tony could tell you that at our house, I have a lot of boxes of like old toys from childhood and a lot of my memories and keepsakes that I'm really having a hard time parting with. As much exploration as I like to do as an ENFP, as free-form as I am, I feel a responsibility, almost a weight, to carry these things around with me and ensure that they're preserved, that I hold on to them. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the meaning of that is or why that's important to me. I think it's that little 3-year-old process. The other thing is, when I do this, it's really difficult for me, because it's a 3-year-old process, for me to know what is important to keep and what is not important to keep. It's really difficult. My instinct is just save everything. We'll save everything. That way we know we're not accidentally losing something that's important. We'll just save it all, right? And I think that's definitely an inferior way that memory or introverted sensing shows up, is that I just am I'm like overdoing it. I'm trying to save everything. And so I told Antonio just a few minutes ago, I'm trying to go as fast as I can to make fast decisions so I don't let that process, stop me. I'm trying to find and really get into my co-pilot, which is introverted feeling or authenticity. What matters to me? What resonates with me? I'm trying to move fast and make decisions quickly. And I told her last night I had some dreams about photos I threw away that I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have thrown those away. I should have saved those. But reviewing it, they're not photos that matter to me. They're like photos of houses I have no idea who stayed in them or something like this, right? It's just really interesting to see how this shows up as a 3-year-old. So anyway, long story short, leave in the comments somewhere your story of introverted sensing or memory. How does it show up for you? If this is something you've seen in another person, your family or a friend or a spouse or a lover or a coworker, how does it show up for them? Do you see this showing up for you at anywhere in your life? What questions do you have about it? I'd love to get a discussion started on this. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I think this is a really interesting conversation about how it's showing up for me. Anyway, Joel Mark Witt, personality hacker, talking about introverted sensing or memory. I will talk to you very soon.